My name is Niaz Parama. I'm a community organizer at Cape.
Thank you so much. So are Airbnbs in general, do you think that Airbnbs are affecting Montrealers' access to affordable long-term housing?
Yes, Airbnbs are like, as I can say, like it's the range of like in the neighborhood of Airbnbs. It's increasing a lot. Mostly like those areas, like I can say, like in Parc-Extension, we don't see as much as like in other areas. But if we like go to those areas like Plateau, um, Mont-Royal, Rosemont, so those areas are very much like affected with these Airbnbs, since we have like a lot of problems in already in Parc-Extension. So we actually don't want this Airbnb to like hit in this our neighborhood, and so that the people like low income people cannot have access to affordable housing anymore.
Are there any preventative measures that Cape is taking in order to prevent Airbnb from, I guess, taking over access to affordable housing in Park-Ex?
um, Actually what happened is, before pandemic, we had talked with borough that we don't want this our neighborhood, this extension, to be gentrified, and we don't want like Airbnb to be here. Mostly we like talked about the area Jean Talon, that we have already seen like how Airbnb is taking over in other neighborhoods. So this is what we don't want in our area. We don't want it to be gentrified. Then like we were working on it, and after that this pandemic it came, and we started focusing on our other housing issues. And then we were focusing on it, and that when this pandemic started, like actually that Airbnb was working less than before. And also like we are doing, for affordable social housing, we are doing demonstrations. We're like doing our like door to door, or sorry, not door to door, we are doing our demonstrations for this, so that people can really access to like social housing.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Thank you so much. Um, so just kind of going back to how it's less of a phenomenon in Park-Ex, um, have you noticed any changes, any amount of increases of Airbnb that maybe you could, if you would be willing to detail that a little bit more in Park-Ex specifically?
In Parc-Extension, like we till now we really don't have that kind of like increasing like visible amount of like Airbnbs. Till now it's still like mm, less affected by Airbnb than the other areas. And but gentrification, it's a huge problem in Parc-Extension.
So if it's not Airbnbs that are contributing to gentrification and Park-Extension, what are the other factors that are contributing
Oh,
to this?
okay, that is like the newly built campus of UDEM, Meal campus. This is affecting a lot at Parc-Extension, because of that campus. They built a campus, but they didn't build any like student housing or accommodation for students. So a lot of students are coming here, and they're renting the house, and the students, they don't live for a long time like the families, so they just live for some few years or maybe 1 or 2 years. So this is a chance that the landlord get to like increase the rent. So what happened, we got a lot of cases like from 2018 we are getting this, like student they come, and the landlords, they want to evict the families that live in there, and then they divide their houses in small small units, and they give it to the students. So this has been not like affordable for this neighborhood. Always has been affordable for low income people, but the scenario is changing because of this meal campus and this and the effect of gentrification of that. So like even those landlords, when they're evicting people, they're giving them the cause that like we want to give it to the students, so we don't want these families. And also like we have a cases like that, say the landlord said that you cannot live in here, you have to move. We are taking this building for the students. So when the person said like, okay, my son is a student, said okay, your son can stay in here, but your family, whole family have to move. So this kind of things are happening here, like for gentrification. And we also like we made an anti-eviction map from Parc-Ex. That's what we did. So we keep track of like which buildings are like under those threats, or which people has been evicted from which building for this eviction thing. Also like a huge number of condos are here now taking place instead of this affordable housing. This is a huge threat for people. Also like I would mention about like Plaza Hutchison, which is just across the metro station of Parc-Extension, which has been, this Plaza Hutchison has always has been a community center for people living in here. But because of this like this gentrification issues, so there are a real estate company, they wanted to build condo in there. So there was a huge like there was a huge fight between the community organizations, community people, and the real estate. And they said like they are going to build a condo in here, so these people won't be able to live in this neighborhood anymore. Finally, the city bought that plaza and said that there will be actually social housing, but it's still like that, like no development is happening in there. So it's just now here there is no social housing is happening, no condo is happening, no nothing. It's just like this.
Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
Thank you.
I just have a couple more questions, and I'm so sorry to ask again. Is it okay to ask you to back up a little bit? I'm sorry, I have to be a bit picky with video. Just anyway. So I just wanted to ask, would you? I mean, you already detailed this a little bit, but would you say that through Airbnb and just gentrification, things like this, because there is a limitation of access to long-term housing, would you say that it's even more detrimental to low-income communities, racialized communities, and newcomers to the city?
Yes, like Parc-Extension, it's actually like place, like what I can say, like it's very multicultural and diverse. And like there are already like community groups, like Greek community, South Asian community, and the other communities. So people who come here, the newcomers who come here, they come and they like to live in the community. And also because this is affordable, and also because the rent is low, so people just they come, they prefer to live in here. But because of these uh, issues now going on about this gentrification, it's going to be like it's not staying that affordable housing for people or for low income people anymore. So people has to like it's affecting people, like for an example, like where some people they could live in an $3.5 or $500, it's been increasing, like it's been $800 or $1,000. So like now their income that didn't increase, but the rent is increasing. So in that case, like they had to stay like this, and this is causing a huge problem for this low income people.
Um, I don't know specifically how this affects Park X, but I know just in past interviews I've done around this subject, how racism has come into play with you know, some people being able to access long-term housing from certain landlords. You know, just given that rent prices are already going up, is this something that maybe you've seen affecting newcomers and just racialized communities being able to access housing?
Yes, it is, and like there is, like I said, like there is systematic racism exists, and because the people who come here, some people because of their precarious status, like they don't know about their rights, they don't. And a big problem is here language barrier. Many people come here, they don't know English, they don't know French, they just know the language that like their mother tongue. So it's very easy to abuse or manipulate those people, like someone who doesn't have a who has a precarious status. So landlord just came and give them a paper and they said, okay, sign it in, and they don't know what is written in there, and they don't want to ask for help because they think, okay, maybe it will affect my status because I don't have like, maybe I'm a refugee, or maybe I don't have a status like that. So maybe if I go to police or if I ask help, so maybe I will be in a trouble. So that's why they don't reach out to people, and landlords, they keep abusing them, manipulating them. Okay, this is the paper, you have to sign in it, and they just sign in it, and then the next day it's like, oh, okay, I have to move here after 7 days. I don't know what to do. So in these cases, like now we support people. We do campaigns, we do door to door, we do workshops, like we do assemblies, like, okay, please don't sign anything. If you get a paper, talk to your neighbors, talk to them, reach out to Cape, or talk to others. Yes, it's like that.
Thank you so much for explaining. Uh, and then I think I had one more thing to ask. Shoot, what was it? I guess, yeah, just in your experience, you know, working at Cape, being in the neighborhood, are you noticing that maybe in particular, in comparison to before the pandemic, are you noticing just more people are having difficulty, you know, finding places, especially, you know, with July 1st coming up? I know that that's a big moving date in Montreal.
Oh yes, a lot. Like after this pandemic, like a lot of eviction is happening. Like it has been increased a lot after this pandemic. A lot of eviction is happening, lot of rent increases is happening, and we had to work on a lot on that. And like I said, like we have a anti-eviction map where we put information on which places are actually threatened eviction or got evicted, people got evicted, and those are all of them basically happened like after this pandemic came. So we decided to um, make it in our anti-eviction map. So like before 2018 till 2018 we were getting like rent increases or issues like that, but after that just like a massive amount of eviction is happening.
I'm sorry to hear this. Um, I think that's all the questions I have. Is there anything that I didn't ask that you want to share or you think is important for me to look into?
Okay, so it's like that, we like I before said, like Parc-Extension is not really so much affected by Airbnb till now, but like there are other neighborhoods that are really affected by Airbnb. So you can get this information, like if you contact Reclac or like Plateau Mont-Royal Housing Committee, they can provide you a lot of information.
Sorry, just writing this down. um, Perfect. I will reach out to them. That's great. Thank you so much for your time. It's been such a pleasure.